Welcome, race fans. Here we are for the Pennzoil Cup Series Season 2, Race 4 at Martinsville. And this one is a very special race because it is the first short track of the season. And a lot of uncertainties come into here as Ryan Dunn, your defending winner of the race. He already has won one race this season. Can he win another? Or can we see someone else win, like someone who needs it? Anyways, let's get your starting lineup here going. On the pole, Derek Petrie. On his outside, Jay Durrell for almost getting his second pole of the season. Row 2 has Nick Purcell in the Old Spice Racing car. We've got the new logo, Michael Croft on the outside. Row 3 has Webster Zygarde and Kyle Singer in his Bed's career start. Row 4 is Ryan Dunn, you see already having a win in the champion of last year, Jake Booker. Row 5, another National Racing car, Jay Barker, and Zach Carr is having a consistent season so far. Row 6, Brian Lenning looking for a good run here, and Giovanni Barraza, the family-owned team. Row 7, Daytona winner Zach Kamoski with a really good starting spot, and Daniel Voiles, who's looking for a good run. Row 8, Addison Steinbach and Hergio Arvin Alonso making his return back after not qualifying last week. Row 9, Arsh Hussain and Jack Newman second in points. Row 10, Nicholas Samudio in the Raven Racing Ford, and Rick Witt also looking for a really good race here. Row 11 has AJ Davidson and Blaine Keys on the two Fords starting in that row. Row 12, Brian Boone and Kevin Ulrich. Brian Boone coming after wrecking out last week, looking for a good race here. Brock McMahon returning after not qualifying last week, and Cody Russell will line up outside him. Row 14 has Gary Weaver and Kyle Collins. Not a good starting spot for him. Look to see him make his way up through the field. And then row 15, Sam Rogers, last week's winner, and Matthew Brown. Row 16, Michael Jones and Aaron Luke starting pretty far back for those two. Row 17 has Callum Wood, the Double T Motorsports car that did not make last week, back in it, and another Double T Motorsports car, Chloe Baker. Row 17 has David Barraza and Michael Krister. Sorry, that's row 18. Row 19 has Tasha Jasmine Rodeo making her first start, leaving no one without a start, and Jose Vazquez on the outside. And then row 20, Cesar Chavez and Daniel Maxwell make up that row. And finally, in the final row, your points leader, Joseph Sprigley for the Rookie of the Year, and Edison Padcar on his outside. Here are your did not qualify list. See 2 Red Viper Racing cars on the list, pretty surprising, but all that aside, we are ready to go racing. Green flag is out. Derek Petrie will lead them down for the short track racing. 75 laps here around this oval. Paperclip track, very much known to have implications on cars hitting the wall. We're going to have to see if that plays in today. But Derek Petrie is going to take an early lead. Nick Purcell is going to take a look to the inside in that 00 car. The Toyota was looking very fast, but just could not get the good qualifying run he needed, so he's going to start third, but already trying to make it up to second here. Got around Kraft, and now is going to almost complete the pass on Jay Durrell. Jay will fight back on the outside in that Dodge, as Derek Petrie is going to continue to move away in that 53. But currently the field kind of spiraling out right now. No major accidents going on right now, as last year was a complete wreck fest. Nick Purcell will complete the pass, and now he's going to have to try to run down the 53 to get to the front early on. But Derek Petrie right now is currently going to hold on, as he will hold on for 8 more laps. So as you see, the gap is closing already. Nick Purcell is starting to reel him in. Michael Kraft has gotten around the 43 car, but Derek Petrie has been one of the more consistent drivers this season. However, if you remember, last year Derek Petrie got 5 top 2 finishes in a row in the season that they had. But that was starting at race 6, which is Hillside, and really he blossomed from there. However, he did not have a good start to the season. But a guy who did have a good start to the season last year, Ryan Dunn, winning 2 races. Currently, he's won already once, but it wasn't at the track where he won at Daytona. It was actually at California. So Ryan Dunn adding his name to tracks which he's won at, and I'm sure that he'd like to add his name twice to Martinsville, as that would be he'd actually be the first person to make a repeat win at Daytona. I mean, at a certain track. Daytona was actually the only possible one last year because there were multiple races there. But Ryan Dunn currently, if he can do that, he wouldn't be the first person to do it, and he's not too far out either. He's running 6th right now. However, his teammate and the person behind him in points, Jack Newman, is not having a good run as he'd like. Jack Newman running the special Susan G. Komen scheme like he did last year, almost a throwback there. And currently that 7 car is doing very well, that Nitro Chevy's. Well, I mean, it's running well, but he's just got stuck on the outside early on. Now he's just been falling back. You see Gary Weaver pulling around, and now Kevin Ulrich going to try to take a look at it, but he's not going to get it. Jack Newman, though, falling back, will finally make his way to the inside, but his car looks fast, just things aren't going the way he wants them to. Edison Picard is currently your last car on the lead lap, or in the field, whichever way you look at it. But you see, just in behind him in the rear view mirror, he can definitely see Derek Petrie closing in that 53 car. And that's a little unsettling, but I'm sure that we did see a ton of cars get wrecked out. I'm sure the 78 can make his way up through the field. Currently, though, it's been a pretty clean race, so I wouldn't really count on it. Derek Petrie in the wall! And the 53 car is going to get in the wall, and the 00 is going to make it to the inside. Nick Purcell's in the Old Spice Racing Toyota is now going to take the lead, but Derek Petrie's putting on a fight. And Derek's teammate is actually coming in behind. Michael Kraft wants a piece of this. He's been hanging in the midst, as well as Jay Durrell. If you see, those 4 cars have actually pulled away from the rest of the field. But Nick Purcell's is going to complete his pass, and now Michael Kraft looks to take a look on the inside. However, things will even up back out front. Here's Webster Zygarde currently running 5th, but you can see the gap that has formed in between the 2 groups. And Zygarde currently leading Ryan Dunn behind him. That's your top 6. But Webster Zygarde, it almost looks like he's catching him, but really they've almost stabilized a little bit. The 12 car is kind of running the same exact lap times as the 43 car, so we can assume that, I don't know, that there's definitely not a draft playing into this one, because last 3 races, I believe, have had drafts, and which could really make groups of cars outnumber a lot of the other single cars. So it's a good thing that that's not happening this week, because we've kind of been getting a little bit bored of it. But short track racing at its finest. We saw Derek Petrie at the wall. Anything can happen here, and we're just going to have to see how this all plays out in the end. Jake Booker, however, running a career best so far in the season at least. Jake Booker is running 9th currently, so that Shell Chevy is definitely needing to get a good run here, as he is very low in points. I believe it's like 34th or something, not even on the main grid that's shown at the end of the races. So if the 5 can pull off a decent finish here, he might be able to try to work his way back up front, and it should be apparent. Whoa, that was a good move by the 5 car, driving it down into the corner underneath the 22 car of Brian Lenning, and he's going to take it easily. 22 doesn't even have room to try to take it, but that 5 car, obviously, he was the champion last year. He should at least be in the points this year, but I'm sure he'll pick it up later in the season. Here's Zach Komoski, a winner in the series. He's actually in currently as it stands. That Peak Toyota, this is exactly what he needs. He didn't have 2 good runs after his win at Daytona. He slowly slipped. Just needs to keep keeping the pressure on his good finishes, and maybe he'll make it. But the 37 car, another guy who made the points last year, he's not doing too good. But he's doing better than Jake Booker at least. But that 37 car needs to step it up if he wants to really have a shot at going for the title. We're going to look at Daniel Voiles back here in the Synthesis Dodge. The 99 car just struggled. But, I mean, then again, he won the Bud Shootout. What's the problem? Well, the problem is he's had wrecks in all of the points races. That Bud Shootout win did not count for points, and that's not good at all. Another thing that's not good at all, Edison Paccar is seeing his teammate out the rear view mirror, and he's coming too. That Toyota is definitely there. And the teammates, though. Is the 00 going to end up getting by the 78, put him a lap down? Currently doesn't look like this. The 00 is almost kind of laying back on the 78, not really making any moves, but if he does that for long, the 53 is going to drive right underneath him and get past him. Here's Callum Wood, the supposed weak link, as he was the first guy on the team to not make a race at Atlanta last week. However, he's back. In fact, all of his teammates are back as well, and currently he's running very well in the 20s currently. That 25 Taco Bell Toyota, showing that he still can do a good run. Derek Petrie mentioned that was going to try to make a move on the underside of the Double Zero, tried to make it, however slipped up out of the corner. Now here comes the 11 car. And the Yamaha Chevy going to try to take second to have a run at the Double Zero. Then Michael Kraft, his first win came at Talladega last year. Talladega is still on the schedule in the same time, race 8. So Michael Kraft, he could just pull off another win before this as he's running second. Could get it half as quick at race 4. But currently he's going to have to get by the 2 Old Spice Racing cars if he wants that to happen. As Nick Purcell's obviously showing he's a really good contender. We got a car slow on the track. Ryan Lenning in the 22 car is now going to come to a stop as caution is going to fly for the 22 car. Wow, this changes everything as the field is going to get bunched up, and Nick Purcell's strategy of trying to keep his teammate on the lead lap is going to pay off. But also some bad things happen as Kyle Singer and Zach Komoski are going to hit the wall trying to avoid the 22 car. Not sure if that's going to affect their cars at all in any way. But green flag will be back out. You see the 22 back out on the track as well. Don't know what the problem was with that 22 car, but it'll be able to get it refired and back out in there. And we got another caution. And wow, this is, I don't know what to say. We already got a caution and we didn't even really make a lap yet. But as Nick Purcell's is going to come back to complete lap, let's see what happened here. Going down into turn 1, we're going to be focusing on Jay Barker. And whoa, it's a stack up. That's California winner Ryan Dunn in the number 9 car, your points leader. Wow, that's crazy. Daniel Voiles is going to hit the wall. And there goes Kyle Singer. Kyle's around. And you see Jay Barker, if you focus on him, he has a ton of front-end damage. That might just take him out of the race. But a ton of things going on in this caution. Let's just refocus at the first event. I don't know, it almost looked like the 9 and the 2 just came in there a little hard. But that looked like it could have been definitely avoidable. I'm not sure what happened there. Daniel Voiles usually hit the wall. And then looks like the 37 comes across the front end of the 68 car. I couldn't really tell from that image if that was actually the 37 coming down or the 68 coming up. Wow. But we're gonna go back to Jay Barker and see what he sees. I didn't really see anything Jay Barker did wrong there. He just came in a little too hot. I think the field just kind of checked up a little more than they thought. But that's going to end Barker's day, and Ryan Dunn is now back in the back of the field. We're going to get set to go green flag again, but we got another caution. And this is even earlier. This is coming to the green we're going to see a caution. So the green flag wasn't even waved yet, as the field's going to get ready for the pace car to come back out and pick them up again. Let's see what caused this caution. We're going to be following Kyle Collins. A terrible race all day long, and look at that, the 83 into the back of the 52, silent on the track. And the 52 is going to get hit multiple times again as the 83 goes on his roof from contact with the 71. Here's what happened. AJ Davidson is going to blow a motor going down the backstretch. And that Amsoil Ford is going to come to a stop rather than go into pit road, which I do not understand. And when the green flag flew, the 83 wanted to get a good jump in, but could not slow down in time to see the 52 there. And the 71 is just going to plow into the 83, flipping him over. And wow, the 52 car, 83 car, 71, all look like they're going to be done for the day. But the 83, I don't know, that actually looked like the 83 could have slowed down a little bit more. But I think it was a mix of him just not paying attention, the 52 just not going to pit road. Green flag back out in the air though, as the Double Zero is now in for a shootout. The Double Zero car now only has 7 laps to hang on and try to get the win against the 53 car. So, can Nick Purcell's do it? Going around turn 4. Nick Purcell's, if you remember, he had probably the worst start out of anyone to start off the season. Daytona, for a collision on pit road that took him out of the race, and then a wreck in California also took him out. Atlanta, he did gain back a few points, as he did finish inside the top 10, I believe, maybe even the top 5. But if he does get this win here, this could be incredible to his points hopes, as he was one of the drivers, one of the 20 to make it in last year in the chase. So we're going to have to see if the Double Zero can make it in this week. However, for the 53, his outlook on this, if he can get a win, he'll probably be boosted to like the top 5 at least, because he's already in the chase, and he can keep another one of his fellow drivers down a little bit more. Plus those extra 3 points could really help dividends out. And that 50, you know, it all comes down to points at the end. You gotta, I mean, we saw it with the 7 and the 99. They were tied going into the chase, and it was just the 7 car, since he had the win, it was him that made it into the chase on points. So the 7 car made it in, this 99 did not. Anyways, the 00 car is going to keep coming around. He's not going to be really caught by the 53 car. And pretty much they single file out behind. The front 4 have been the front 4 all race long. No changes up front at all. And it's definitely been an uneventful race other than the few cautions that we got at the end. White flag is out in the air as the 00 just has to hang on for 2 more turns. And the 00 car makes it through 1 and 2 perfectly again, and he's almost going to sketch out in front of the 53 car. 53 tries to dive bomb it a little bit there going down in the corner, but it's going to be no use. Checkered flag for Nick Purcell, as already seeing a good comeback in mind here, as the 00 car will now take the checkered flag. Great job for the Old Spice Motorsports car, and also for letting his teammates stay on the lead lap. That was good planning right there, as it worked out incredibly well. Nick Purcell will be your winner out on the track, and Old Spice Motorsports will get their first win of the season. As you see, this is your finishing results. The front 4, Nick Purcell, Derek Petrie, Michael Kraft, and Jay Durrell just up top the entire race long. Just domination at its finest. Webster Zygarde also up there in 5th. Jake Booker, he did make up most of the spots. I mean, I think he started around like 13th or 15th, somewhere like that. Made it up to 6th, a great run for Jake Booker. But obviously passing was not an easy thing here to do today. Zach Komoski hitting the wall pushed him down a few points as well. Looking at the midfield, see Joseph Straley, that's not going to help out his Rookie of the Year points chances. But he did have a good points lead to come in here to begin with. You see Callum Wood, also a good finish by him for Double Team Motorsports. A good comeback finish for that car. Other notables, Jack Newman, not where he wanted to finish at all. Yeah, you're second in points. 25th is not where he needed to get a good finish. But also his teammate, Jay Barker, 42nd right there, as he wrecked out after being involved in that wreck. Not good at all. I mean, a lot of these guys, you see Kyle Collins, AJ Davidson, they were just on the brink of falling out, but you never know. All those points could have made it so that in the future they cannot make into the chase. Every point counts. Every point is so crucial, even at race 4. Here is your point standings going into next race. Is Ryan Dunn will end up keeping the point lead with 156, but Webster Zygarde with that 5th place finish will move up to 2nd with 149. That is 7 points back. So Zygarde really catching up to Ryan Dunn right now. Michael Kraft sitting in 3rd. Arsha Sane kind of just quiet right now in 4th. You see Jack Newman just going to fall to 6th. Here's the rest of your field, at least down to 28. And you see the cutoff line, Chloe Baker and Kyle Singer, as it stands right now, will not make it. Although then again, Giovanni Barraza and Chloe Baker, you see they are tied on points. So just little things to look out for. And look at that good finish. 6th place for Jake Booker will put him up to 23rd in points with 83. So that's just the little things that count. Every race matters, and if you don't think so, then there you go. That just shows right there. Here are the Rookie of the Year standings. As you see, Joseph Strigley still holding on to a pretty comfortable lead, but Jose Vequez is going to take over 2nd from Edison Padcar, even with staying on the lead lap. That didn't help him out much. Callum Wood up to 4th, though, which is also good. And Matthew Brown, even though his first race was last week, he's already up to 6th. Nikita falls to 7th after missing the race. David Barraza after being in the wreck. Other notables, Tasha Jasmine Rodeo in her first start will finish there. Venzel Cup Series will see you next week at Road America. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.